All
Does
right.
it give you an option?
Yes. To the computer or to the cloud. All right. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
This is the first episode of our brand new podcast, Things My Mother Never Told Me. I'm Damon Dixon. I got my wife, Tynia Dixon there. Say hi.
Hi.
And joining us today is our producer, Brandise Tyler.
Hey there, what's up, everybody?
Ooh, you got it.
All right. So we're going to this podcast is going to be we're going to interview different people every week with different things people need to know. Some stuff you might know, but some stuff you might not know about. So we're going to bring those things to you. But first, let us introduce ourselves, tell you how we came up with this title and this idea. You know, I've been trying to get out here on this podcast universe for a long time. And
yes, he has.
Brandise has a podcast. What's the name of your podcast, Brandise?
It's Her.Story 101.
There you go. And so I've been seeing her do her thing. And I said, that sounds pretty good. Let me get off my butt and finally do something. But during this pandemic, it was placed on my heart to start playing gospel music, live streaming it on Facebook, which turned out to be a trip. And I learned about Mixcloud. So we were doing the gospel music. And I actually did it every day for probably the first almost 3 months. How long this pandemic going on?
It was strong.
Yeah,
it was strong.
Right.
Daily.
We going every day for an hour, then it got to be an hour and a half and so on. So
5:30-ish.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
That's what I said. Heavy on the ish.
And I didn't know at the time that Facebook really wasn't too fond of you DJing live music on there. A friend of mine turned me on to Mixcloud, and we've been rolling ever since. But from that, I got the idea that maybe we can get this podcast started. So on my mother's birthday, anniversary we went to visit her body, sometime she passed a few years ago. And I was thinking about titles for this podcast, and it dawned on me, she's been going 35 years now. There are a lot of things that she never got a chance to tell me, mainly because things didn't exist. And they just didn't. And it's amazing, you know, like cell phones. Who knew about a cell phone? We had those big bag phones that we carried around in the car, and they were just really getting started back then. I think I had my first mobile phone in 1989, I believe.
I don't know.
I'm saying.
It's before my time.
Right.
Yes.
Long time ago. So that's why I got the idea for this title. I mean, I was doing some research and I found out, like, in 1985, a gallon of gas was $1.09. There's no way, right? No way she could have told me gas prices is going to get up to $4. and so forth. It's crazy.
You just a little over 2 now, though, since the pandemic.
Well, yeah, since pandemic.
Like we celebrate
down to
99
cents and 67.
Right.
at the top of the pandemic.
Right, and for the uninformed public, we're broadcasting from Farmington Hills, Michigan, which is a suburb of Detroit. But we lived in Detroit for God's 59 and a half years, so we still Detroiters. But in 1985, the price of a movie ticket was $2.75.
Wow.
Crazy.
You go see a half a movie for that price.
Right. So it was some real, the average price of a new car, $9,000.
Now wait. Brand new, 0 miles off the lot.
$9,000. Right. Average income, $22,000.
Wow.
So
you can't even buy a house with that, no.
No.
Add all the rent and these things.
No, you ain't getting a house for that. So it's just going to show you that it's a lot of stuff that my mother never told me, but how could she? There's no way she could know that this kind of stuff would have been going on. Apple wasn't even a computer brand. Well, they were just getting started. Commodore was tops in computers. Nintendo put out their first big system, the NES.
Yeah, NES.
Yeah. So a lot of stuff that she just couldn't tell me about. And so on this podcast, we got a lot of folks lined up. Just going to, like, I got one guy coming on, Mr. Jason Marzette, black man. He's in the trap shooting.
The trap shoot?
Trap shooting.
T-R-A-P?
T-R-A-P.
Mm-hmm.
Skeet shooting, trap shooting. That's what he does, winning lots of awards in it. And he's going to come on and talk about that in a program they're trying to institute in the inner city schools.
Okay.
A friend of mine, Tyrone Bradley, he's been a DJ for, my God, 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
He's
and I know that's probably changed over.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
That looks differently now, like, especially now because you DJ into millions of people, you know.
And you DJing online, and you pulling songs off your computer, off your laptop. Which in '85 we didn't have laptops.
Yeah, records. what size were the records then?
45, 78.
Yeah, I know something. I know a little bit.
And 33s. Right. So we're gonna get in there, see how that's changed. We got some folks who are gonna talk about young folks in the church and how the church can be more accepting and open to young people.
Yeah, millennials.
Because the message that was delivered 35 years ago don't
Generation
resonate
Z.
today. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. And got some folks talk about entrepreneurship. We got a young lady who's going to talk about environmental things, education with special needs.
Okay.
Yeah, and then a friend of mine, Charles Primus, he has a movement. Everybody's talking about Black Girls Rock. He has a thing, Black Boys Movement, where he's trying to educate and help young Blacks in and around Detroit to realize their potential and know that they're not a lost generation. So that should be interesting.
That is interesting.
And who was it else? Because
you was thinking about archery.
Oh yeah, I got it. Yeah, well, I got a line about. We're gonna try to get into a young lady who does archery.
Okay.
Right. Some like I said, environmental study. I mean, we got a
full. You got a full roster going already. I love it.
I know. Right. Yes, we do.
Right. I just
coming out the gate.
I got to nail a couple of these folks. I got to nail down. We got one of the reverends in my church. She got her doctorate, and her thesis was on domestic violence in the church.
Okay.
Yeah. And we got
that's on the rise. And that's on the rise, on the rise.
So we got a lot of stuff lined up, and I got a few more things too. Midnight golf and General Baker Institute. I got,
Okay.
Yeah. So we got a lot of stuff coming up, and we hopefully it will be entertaining and informative to everybody who comes out and joins in with us.
Absolutely. It sounds like it's gonna be one for the masses. Something for everybody.
Something for everybody.
And I think that's always, having that broad range and ability to reach a bunch of different people, because you just never know who's gonna click or who's gonna tune in. And you just hit a bunch of different people.
Right. And the presenters are a wide range of ages too. Millennials, Generation Xers, baby boomers. We got the whole shot doing. We'll be presenting, being interviewed.
We all can learn from each other.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right. So Brandise, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Let's get to the first one. First of all, I tapped you to produce this. Why don't you tell the folks a little bit about your background?
Sure thing. So I actually went to school for film, video, and media studies. I graduated from Western Michigan University in 2010. Go Broncos. Woo!
That's right. I was there for a year too.
For a year too. And it was at a time when in Michigan, they were given like huge tax breaks for making movies in the city. And I don't know if you guys remember that. So I was like, oh yeah, this guaranteed money. It's a job, people are going to be here. But then how things always happen, the economy switches, things change, and that tax break wasn't available anymore. So most people packed up and stopped making their movies in the city and went back to LA. And for me, I just know myself that I'm competitive in some ways. I played basketball and sports for years, but I gave that up because when I saw the level of competitiveness, I'm like, oh yeah, no. I just want to play basketball and have fun a little bit, whatever, stay in state.
Get a little exercise.
So I didn't chase the dream, out to California or New York or anything like that. And kind of just, I did it for fun in the church. I would produce little things if we had videos or plays and things like that. Did some of the audio video ministry. Yeah, so I did some of that, but never pursued it, full time or as a real side hustle where it could have brought in income to me or anything. So a few years ago, I want to say maybe 2 years ago, my homeboy, Torrance, he had a podcast and he was like, man, you hilarious. Like you would be like great. Like just come on our show and just, talk smack with us, with the guys and, just see how you like it. And I had really been thinking about it because I saw that it was, everybody was doing it. It was the new coming thing. And I'm like, well, I got something to say. I got an opinion. I got a platform I want to reach. I want to be heard.
That's right.
You say you want to be heard. You're a trendsetter. Go ahead.
Yeah. So again, but I never, really just put into it. And then he invited me over one day and they were, shooting and I went and I did it. And I was like, oh man, this was fun. So he's like, see, it was good. And I'm like, yeah, that was cool. He's like, all right, come back for the next show. And then after that, he started dropping little hints like, you should get your homegirl and y'all could, do something and y'all funny together. Like I'm listening to y'all, I'm laughing. We at work laughing all night at work because y'all just going back and forth, talking about current events or talking about what's new and what's happening. So finally we just jumped and we did it. Cool. And consistency was like the first struggle. And that's why I'm excited to see you have so much lined up. Cause I'm like, if I had sat down and made a plan like that, I probably would have been a little bit better with my consistency in the beginning. But so far we've been going pretty strong here. We've kind of split away from their podcast and their show. We're, doing our own thing with Her Story 101 and it's been going good. So only up from here, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, when I was talking with you about how you were doing your podcast, that's part of the reason why I said, let me line up these people before we get started. So I'll know that if nothing else, I got a little bit of content.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's like I said, a few of them I still haven't asked yet, but that's good. So where do you think you're going with your podcast from here? I would like to branch off and do another show that I had an idea about doing. Just because me and my cousins have a group chat and we vent, we keep up with what's going on in the family and we just kind of share. And I feel like that would be a cool idea to do with as a podcast, and we call it the general counsel. So we the general counsel, we the board, and you got to come before the board. Whatever's going on in the city, whatever's going on, we got to come before the board and we talk about it. So I feel like some people have that and some people don't have that. And I feel like it's a good way, another outlet. And hopefully, I know a lot of these podcasts now are on Amazon Prime. It's a show that a podcast I listen to, and they actually, started doing visual, and it's on Amazon Prime. I know Jesus and Mero, if you may not be familiar or know them, but they're on Showtime, and they have like a really big following, and they bring on celebrities and guests and stuff like that. So if anything for me, like kind of what you're doing, start to branch off and bring on people and touch those topics that we need to talk about. Right. That's the whole idea.
Oh, okay, Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's good. So, any time frame? Any timeline?
Timeline for the new one. I wanted to start it a month or two ago. Well, no, it wasn't that long. Maybe a month ago. I knew I had the idea, but again, I got to line it up. And now, again, inspiration, seeing you. And I'm like, all right, let me get my ducks in a row and line it up good and, pace it. Because when we did it originally, a lot of the stuff now I'm looking back like, oh, I want to kind of rebrand in our logo and do different things and kind of, spruce it up a bit and keep it current with the time. So definitely got to, figure out and plan all that out.
Oh, okay. So are you reaching a certain number of followers before you make that transition?
Probably not. I'm probably
Okay.
just gonna jump
Okay.
whenever I line it up and said it. I'm gonna
See,
just
that's a
jump. 'Cause
millennial.
Yeah, you know, I feel like we've had consistency with our show. We broadcast live on Facebook Friday nights. We try to stay at 8 o'clock, but you know, we just never stay on time. So
They get you
and
when
then
they get you. Huh?
yeah. When you see my little notification pop up, click in, please. So we've had regular, and I'm starting to see kind of consistency on the analytics side with Apple Podcasts and the number of people listening, like actually clicking and downloading. So you know, that's helpful too, because you know, people will watch the live, but it's like everybody that didn't watch the live or listen to the show then. And how do I get you, you know, on the back end so that you can, you know, stream and listen there.
Right.
Okay.
Kind of build that audience.
Right. I know how that goes because I know with our broadcast praise hour, I noticed that the numbers that I see live, that I actually can see live, they was okay. They wasn't great, but they were okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then when I go back and look at the views would always be 4 to 5 times more than what the actual live listenership was.
Yeah, was doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, catch people on the back end. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's
like you said, everybody can't listen at us all at the same time.
Right.
We doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. That's right.
We doing stuff.
We doing stuff. It's summertime too. We trying to have a little bit of summer with what we can before Brett shut us down.
But see, that was the thing though, because before summer actually hit, we had a captive audience. Because we do 4:30 Eastern to now 6:30.
And everybody was really scared to be out.
And before we were doing 4:30 to 5:30 ish. Right. And nobody was at work.
Mm-hmm.
And the ones that work from home, they just turn it on in the background and let it play. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But when this thing started opening back up, people started going back to work. Then it got harder for the regulars because we had a core group of people who were always on.
Yeah, like always. You got a core group now. Yeah, we had a core group then.
Yeah. So I say so now it becomes a bigger chore trying to get it. But the beauty of the podcast is that once we get it and get it up and get it out there and post it, it's there for you to see.
Anytime, yep. See and hear and all that. Yeah. That's why I think about some people don't do visual. I'm a visual person, so I like to look and, you know, laugh and watch, you know, back to as well as listen to the audio. Right. It's always fun.
Me too. I prefer visual too. I mean, when you look this good, you got to be seen.
All right now.
See, that's why he has me on here.
That's right.
And
more people are looking.
You serve your purpose well. You do it well with beauty.
Right. So, yeah. So that's what my vision is. I mean, but I want to talk something real quick. I was thinking about this when I was talking about getting Carlos for this little group to come and talk about them. You did a production of The Wiz a few years ago, right?
Yeah.
Talk about that.
So it was we just did it as it was a church, not church play, but we did it out of the church. The church that, you know, our youth group kind of, you know, spearheaded it. We had a very amazingly talented Nadia. She's a dancer, and she's like has a whole theater background and everything. So she was the director, and I kind of assisted her in directing. But we opened it up to the community, and we had a lot of talented people come and audition. You know, I'm thinking it was just gonna be a couple people here and there. Right. We did have a couple, you know, kind of not the top tier talent, but it's funny because I don't know if you guys watch what's the show on BET, the White House, the family there. Oh yeah,
the Oval.
The Oval. K-Ron Moore, the wife, actually auditioned to be in one of our yes. She because I'm like, where do I know her from? Why does her face look so familiar? And I don't watch the show regularly. I just happen to be, you know, browsing past it on BET Plus or whatever. And I'm like, where do I know her from? So I looked up her name, and I'm like, oh my God, this girl auditioned to be our Dorothy for The Wiz when we did that.
And she didn't even get the role.
She was going to get the role, but I think she saw the caliber of talent we had. It was a good show. We had some really talented people, but you know, probably with her background, she was like, this kind of really isn't, you know, gonna take off. Right? I'm not getting paid. It's free,
I'm not getting paid.
Yeah. So she kind of backed out, but she would have been our Dorothy, and we ended up, you know, going with another young lady. But it was fun. Like Carlos, you mentioned, he learned to tap dance. You know, he had never worn tap shoes, never done any, you know, tap choreography or anything like that. And he learned how to tap dance, I would say maybe over the time frame of a month, because I don't think we were
got into that role
long. But and he played the Tin Man, and I wish I still had a copy of the DVD somewhere, because it was like everybody just loved like his part in that.
Yes,
like,
he stole the show.
People still talk about it. Like you never think the Tin Man stole the show, and he did.
Well, look. And the reason why I brought that up, because when I thought about having him on, one of the questions I wanted to ask him was about that, because I didn't know he could sing until I saw that. Until I saw him
do that, because he always played around growing up. You know, he was just, you know, imitating or you know, duplicating a singer or, you know, sound. But no, But
look at him now.
Yeah.
You know,
recording artists and all this stuff.
Yes.
Right, his group won some awards and all. I mean, it's amazing, and that's why I asked you that, because, and I didn't know about the other young lady who's now in the Oval, but from that little production, look at all of what came through there, and look at what's so far now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a lot of the Lion, Ada Pearl. Like we really had like some top tier, and I think that comes from Nadia, like having that background, and we had some really talented people who are still pursuing. You know, theater and arts and out there really in New York and, you know, studying and stuff like that. So it was great. It was, you know, it was fun for sure. Yeah.
See, that's what we hope to put in our podcast like that. You know, people that hear about things that's coming through, the ones that we have lined up, that they will pursue these type of careers.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Or just do it as a hobby.
Yeah. So do it as a hobby. Trap shooting, I don't know.
Well, I mean, but it's
that's different. I've never heard of that.
Right, exactly. If you like shooting, I mean, if you like that kind of thing, because the guy who does it, he's a retired police officer.
Okay.
And he likes to shoot, you know, and there's a lot of people. Trap shooting is big. He goes all over the country.
Oh wow!
In competition
and stuff like that. Okay.
Right, and he medals almost everyone he goes to. He's top three. Wow. So he's real good. But it's one of those things you wouldn't expect an African American to be out there doing.
Yeah. Same with the young lady that the woman that we're getting to do the archery. I'm just saying, I knew archery, you know, is a popular thing, but her to be going from state to state, teaching people and opening up little segments, and not only that, I didn't know that until that movie. What was the movie?
Oh, the Hunger Games.
Hunger Games.
Oh, the Hunger Games.
You can be it's so popular now. You can make a movie about it.
Now, what about axe throwing? Have y'all ever been to like the place where Detroit Axe or something like that is called? And they have like.
Oh no! I ain't throwing no axes.
Yeah, no. We went as a company, the company holiday party, and we were at the place that did bowling, which is like bowl with the football. Yeah, and they had the axe throwing, and I'm I'm gonna stand over here behind the gate because I don't want to. This is a real axe. I'm okay.
That's
and just to see some of the people, like that thing wasn't going farther than 2 feet in front of them, and it wasn't hitting the board. It was funny, but it's just, you know, amazing what people are turning to, you know, a sport.
Yeah, it's a sport. Yeah.
Right. So
you millennials started that.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
And
you know what? Let's just throw these axes.
And you know that's the other thing is that I was looking around at all the people that we know just in my church and their family that have these talents, and especially stuff that's a little bit different from what we're used to in our community. And I said, wow, I got a whole lot of people that can share with folks what's out there.
Yeah.
So we can get out the little boxes that we put ourselves.
Yep, that we in. Yep, all we know: basketball, football. No, I want to shoot a bow and arrow too.
Right, sure.
All I need somebody to teach me. And I can do it.
Right.
New experiences.
Exactly.
Right. So that's like I said, that's my direction. And like I say, you really were my inspiration for even knowing that I could pursue this. So
sweet, cool.
Yeah. and my thing is, I wanted to get something started where nieces, nephews, my kids, all y'all could be involved in it. Yeah. Yeah, because y'all doing stuff and I want to be a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was like, here he goes again.
Yeah, I told Carlos, I told him, like, hey, when you get 930, his marketing, and he does the websites and the logos and all this stuff, I'm like, listen, I need a part-time job. Teach me. I will come and learn how to design a website, and I want to be a part. And I think we got to start doing it, like, bringing each other in on what we're doing.
Yes, exactly. And
I remember years ago when Uncle Damon, you said, you was like, look, I want to do this with the family. I want it to be a family business and something. Right. And a lot of people have moved away from that, but it's, time to get back to it. How we can put all our brains together and let's do it and go to the top.
Yeah. Because
when you eat, I'm eating.
I'm like you. I like legacy.
That's right.
But see, you just said something that I need to talk to him too, because I used to do graphic design stuff.
Oh, sure did, yeah.
Yeah, so I need to talk to him.
Yeah.
I need a part-time job too. Something that I like.
Yeah, and that's what I'm like, yeah, I'd rather work for you and I can vent to you and be like, look, I'm sick of you today versus, corporate America where you got to sometimes play these roles and all this stuff like that, and they don't want to pay you what you're worth and all this. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah. That's a whole nother conversation.
Whole nother conversation. We can have that at another time.
That's why we got the real mask on now, because of all that stuff.
Right. But we laughing, but what she just said is real, because this pandemic thing is we had, how many deaths was in Michigan today? Was it 600? 680?
600?
Really?
Yeah, not deaths. I mean, not deaths.
New cases.
New positive thing. That's crazy. That's crazy. And so at the rate we're going to be on lockdown for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. It's just the new.
We won't be obedient. So.
Yeah. Right. And so that's why. Yeah. So a lot of stuff we're gonna talk about some church stuff down the road on this thing too. Though we really are. We're gonna make it relevant to people's lives.
Right.
We ain't gonna pass no collection plate, I don't guess.
The new thing is to throw your cash tag on the.
Yeah, that's coming. on my show, that's coming.
Yeah, you gotta toss it on there. That'll pay for a month of subscription.
That's why we gotta get the people free now. So.
Well, they hooked now.
Come in while it's free, because your subscription is.
Yeah, because I'm gonna start paying for it next month, because I got it free right now. So I need some subsidization. If that's what you.
Yep, that's what it is.
Right. So
well, I'm excited.
Yeah. So I am too. See where this goes. Like I said, I can't wait I got to contact these folks and get them started. But we'll be back next week, live and in living color with our first guest.
I need a contract.
I'll give you a contract.
Contract me, please.
I mean, because I'm like, that has nothing to do with this. Nothing to do with this.
Listen,
I can be loyal and supportive without being my face.
From over there, on the other side of that camera. Contract.
I know. No, he ain't gonna throw up the ring.
Throw up the ring on you.
Right. That's right. So
yeah, I support you in what you do. Whatever. Yeah, there you go.
I feel much more comfortable with you right by my side.
We enjoy it.
So there you have it.
You say we enjoy it, Brandon. Right. Thank you for that stamp.
You're welcome.
Right. So be on the lookout for things my mother never told me. This is episode 1. Episode 2 coming to a podcast provider near you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the artwork down. It'll be up and running. It's kind of slick. and what's the name of that? 930 Productions?
930 Marketing.
930 Marketing. They just pop up out everywhere. That's my cousin. My little cousin,
Carlos Whitlow.
All right.
Doing his thing. And I want to talk to him too about his 930 market, but also about the song project.
Oh, yeah.
Because that got put on hold this year because of COVID-19, but he was doing wonderful things with young people.
In the city, yeah.
Yeah, he's doing wonderful things with them.
Yeah, that's why I started sowing a seed in there.
Yeah. Right. So we want to talk to all those. I've seen the talent that's come through that program as well.
Yes. Yeah. I want to be a part of that. You know what I'm just saying? Moving young people forward.
Adult week. I need an adult week where I can come. Adult camp.
Right. That's right. That's right. So we got, like I said, a lot of good stuff, a lot of interesting folks, a lot of interesting topics. We hope to have a long run doing this.
Yeah, he's been working day and night.
Brandise, you got anything else you want to share with the folks?
No, not at all. Check me out on Heard Our Story 101 podcast. You can follow us on IG. We're also on Facebook, same name. And then you can listen to us. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and SoundCloud.
Wow.
Yeah, she all over the place.
I see. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Right. And we'll be all.
I'll be listening.
As soon as Brandise get us hooked up, we'll be somewhere everywhere.
Right. Same places too. Yep.
So, right. Same place. I know we already have an Instagram account. Things.
Okay.
My mother never told me. It's things. I put a space in there and they put underscore. So I guess it's those sort of you got to put underscore in.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
okay.
You got to put the date and sign it.
Okay. So it's things underscore my underscore mother underscore never underscore told underscore.
Told me. Okay.
Because somebody else had that name without the underscores. It was all one running together.
Wow.
I was shocked when I went out there and saw it. So yeah, that's where we'll be, and then we're gonna put it on Facebook as well, and Apple runs the world. It looks like.
That's one of the biggest platforms. Yeah.
Right. So we'll be all over the place, but be on the lookout for us. Hey, we had a blast today.
Yeah.
Thank you for looking at us. Tell a friend. Brandise, thank you.
Thank you, Brandise.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for thinking of me.
Yeah, my super producer. All right. Everybody take care. Peace.
All right then. Stay safe.
Right, fine. We out of here.